What if I told you that some of Hollywood's biggest scandals weren't hidden because nobody knew about them, but because too many people did? For years, rumors can circulate behind closed doors. Assistants hear them, agents hear them, executives hear them, journalists hear them. Yet somehow, nothing happens. No investigations, no consequences, no headlines. Then, one day, everything explodes into public view, and suddenly, everyone asks the same question. How is this allowed to happen for so long? It's a question that has followed some of the biggest entertainment scandals in modern history. From powerful movie producers to influential musicians and media executives, many people who seemed untouchable eventually found themselves at the center of shocking revelations. But before their downfall, something else was happening. A system was protecting them, not necessarily through secret meetings or elaborate conspiracies, but through money, influence, fear, and an industry built around protecting its most valuable assets. Today, we're looking at how Hollywood protects its biggest stars and why some people remain untouchable for years before the truth finally catches up. Chapter 1. Celebrities aren't just people, they're brands. When most people look at a celebrity, they see an actor, musician, or entertainer.
You consider yourself to be the leader of this group?
If you say so.
Do you guys consider Robert to be the leader of the group?
Hollywood sees something different. It sees a business. A major star can be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Their movies generate revenue. Their endorsements bring profits. Entire companies can depend on their popularity. And that's where things get complicated. Because when a celebrity becomes valuable enough, protecting their image becomes protecting a financial investment. Imagine a studio spending $200 million on a movie starring one of its biggest actors. Then imagine a serious scandal emerging weeks before release. If that actor's reputation collapses, the studio could lose millions. Many people have a financial incentive to keep things under control, and that's often where the protection begins. Chapter 2. The invisible army behind every star. Most celebrities don't handle crises alone. Behind every major star is an entire team: publicists, managers, lawyers, agents, crisis consultants, people whose careers depend on protecting reputations. When negative stories begin circulating, these teams often move quickly. The goal isn't always proving innocence. Sometimes the goal is simply controlling the narrative, because public perception matters. In many cases, whoever shapes the story first gains a major advantage. If enough doubt is created, attention shifts elsewhere. If enough positive coverage appears, the scandal may lose momentum. And if the public moves on, the damage can be minimized. Hollywood has spent decades perfecting this process. Chapter 3. The Power of Access. One of the least discussed forces in Hollywood is access. Entertainment journalists depend on it. Media companies depend on it. Even influencers depend on it. Access means exclusive interviews. If a reporter becomes known for aggressively attacking powerful stars, those opportunities may disappear. That doesn't mean journalists are corrupt, but it does create a system where relationships matter. Sometimes difficult questions aren't asked. Sometimes uncomfortable stories receive less attention. Sometimes rumors remain rumors for years. Not because nobody knows, but because nobody wants to risk losing access. And when enough people think that way, silence becomes normal. Chapter 4. The Fear Factor. Hollywood runs on relationships. A producer recommends an actor. An executive approves a project. An agent opens doors. A director offers opportunities. Everything is connected. That means speaking out can be risky. Many former insiders have described environments where people witnessed troubling behavior but chose not to say anything publicly. Not because they approved, not because they agreed, but because they feared the consequences. This fear creates a powerful culture of silence, and silence is often the greatest protection powerful people have. Because as long as everyone stays quiet, nothing changes. Chapter 5. When everyone knows. One phrase appears repeatedly whenever major Hollywood scandals are exposed. Everyone knew. After shocking allegations become public, former employees, assistants, actors, and insiders often share similar stories. Yet few people spoke publicly. This pattern has appeared again and again throughout entertainment history. People often assume scandals stay hidden because information is unavailable. The reality can be very different. Sometimes information exists, but it remains scattered, ignored, dismissed, or buried beneath the influence of powerful individuals. And as long as no single piece of evidence forces public attention, the system continues operating as usual. Chapter 6. When the wall finally cracks. The interesting thing about protection systems is that they usually work until they don't. History shows that many powerful figures seemed untouchable right up until the moment everything collapsed. Often, the downfall begins with one person speaking out, then another, then another. Suddenly, isolated stories become a pattern. Patterns become investigations. Once enough evidence accumulates, even the strongest reputation management strategies begin to fail. Studios distance themselves. Business partners disappear. Sponsors withdraw support. The same industry that once defended someone may quickly abandon them, because protecting a damaged reputation becomes more expensive than letting it go. Chapter 7. Social media changed the game. For decades, Hollywood relied heavily on traditional media. Studios controlled information. Publicists controlled access. Major networks controlled narratives. Today, that system is weaker than ever. Social media changed everything. Now, a witness can tell their story directly to millions of people. A leaked video can spread worldwide within hours. Independent creators can investigate stories without relying on major media companies. Information travels faster. Control becomes harder. And public pressure builds more quickly than ever before. This doesn't mean every accusation is true. But it does mean powerful figures no longer have the same ability to manage narratives they once did. The gatekeepers are losing control, and Hollywood is still adapting to that reality. Hollywood isn't a secret society. It doesn't need hidden meetings or elaborate conspiracies to protect its biggest stars. The protection often comes from ordinary forces working together. Money, influence, fear, career incentives, business interests, and a culture where many people benefit from keeping successful celebrities on top. But history shows something else. No one stays protected forever. Eventually, evidence surfaces, and stories that once seemed impossible to tell become impossible to ignore. The real question isn't whether Hollywood protects its biggest stars. The real question is, how many stories are still waiting to be exposed? And when they finally are, who will be next?